what's up everyone? We're here. We're gonna change this oil today. We're gonna get right into it. First thing I'm doing is trying to get to this oil check dipstick, but it's a little bit too tight. So I'm gonna go grab a tool here so that I can open it up. Gonna get that open. We're gonna check it. It looks like I'm barely touching the tip. Get it cleaned off. We're gonna put it back in. And when you put it back in, you got to make sure don't screw it in. Just insert it to the top. Go check it out here. It's just barely touching the tip, so it looks like I burned a little bit off there. Last time I changed this, I put about 650 milliliters, which is actually a little bit more than what the manual calls for. So we're gonna take off these 8mm bolts that hold this bracket. It's like a protection bracket. Alright, we got that off. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a 17mm socket and we're going to take out that oil plug there. Got a small container under there because none of my big oil pans will fit, so I use this small container. It works out pretty good. I drain all the oil into there, and then afterwards I pour it in a measuring cup so that I can see how much oil is missing. And I also have the magnetic, I upgraded to the magnetic drain plug so that any metal is going to get caught right on the end. As you can see, there's almost nothing on there, so that's a good thing. Alright, we're going to put the drain plug back in. Get a little napkin, wipe it off. Any excess oil that was dripping, just wipe that off there, and then we're going to use our 17mm socket and tighten that back up. But you got to be careful, don't tighten it too tight because the threads on these GY6 engines are not very strong, so if you go too tight you're going to strip it and you're going to have a big problem. We'll wipe it off again. We're going to get our protection plate back on there, and we're using the 8mm socket we're going to get on there. Remember, don't tighten them too tight. One of these bolts is longer than the other one, but if you look at your cover plate there, you're going to see, you know, it's pretty obvious where the long one goes. You're going to see the threads on the short one, and you're going to see just, you're not going to see any threads on the one that's a little bit longer. So the short one's going to go on front, and then the long one's going to go in the rear. Alright, now we're back over here to the other side. We got 600 milliliters of fresh oil. We're going to get this funnel placed in here. You got to make sure the funnel goes all the way in so you don't drop any oil. I actually make the mistake here of not getting it all the way in, and I put it in too fast and I get a little oil everywhere. So don't make the mistake that I did. Get all the oil up in here. And keep in mind, this is just a quick, simple video. You know, obviously if you know how to change your oil, then you don't have to watch all the way through this, but this is for everyone that maybe just got this bike and, you know, never really changed the oil, or maybe you don't know how much oil to put in. I'm going with whatever's in the manual, even though some people say to add more. I just go with what's in the manual. All right, we're gonna clean up that little bit of oil I got there. Take that out. Clean up around there where I made a mess. We're going to come in, and remember, we're going to stick it in, but we're not going to thread it. And what we're looking for is we want to see oil just on the end of the tip of that dipstick. I put the 600 milliliters. It barely touches the tip on it. I'm not going to ride it all the way up to the top. I'm sure once it's threaded in, it would read full. But like I said, I go with what the manual says. And I've had, ever since I've ridden around with 600 milliliters instead of more, I've had less oil leak out of the bike. So that tells me that it's probably right. And that's going to be it for that. I hope you guys like it. Get something out of it. If you know, if this is your first time learning, about how to change the oil, just give the video a like. If you got any questions, go ahead and leave the questions in the comments below, and I'll make sure and get back to them. All right, thanks guys. Have a good one.